If the 1990s belonged to the Big Five in the West, the early 2000s belonged to a new kind of extraterrestrial elegance. A height that defied Japanese standards, a bone structure so sharp it could cut glass, and a walk so aggressive it felt like a declaration of war. Her name is Ai Tominaga. She didn't just walk for the greats. She became the living embodiment of the most theatrical era in fashion history. From the dark fantasies of Alexander McQueen to the cinematic madness of John Galliano at Dior, Ai Tominaga was the undisputed queen of the new millennium. Welcome to Ruishifa. Today, we dissect the life, the struggle, and the legendary comeback of the woman who broke the glass ceiling of high fashion, Ai Tominaga. To understand Ai's impact, we have to look at her beginnings in Sagamihara, Japan. Standing at 179 centimeters, Ai was an anomaly. In a society that often values blending in, her height made her a target for bullying. She felt like an outcast, a monster in her own words. But what the world saw as a flaw, the fashion industry saw as a weapon. At just 15 years old, she began her journey, but Japan was still too small for her ambition. She knew that to become an icon, she had to conquer the triad of power: Paris, Milan, and New York. The year 2000 was the turning point. Ai Tominaga arrived in New York, and the industry was instantly paralyzed by her silhouette. She possessed a chameleonic quality that was rare. She could transform from a commercial, high-gloss editorial face to a haunting, gothic specter in a matter of seconds. Designers didn't just want her to wear the clothes, they wanted her to tell a story. This led her to the inner circle of the most demanding creators of the time. Think of John Galliano's Dior. His shows were not runways, they were operatic performances. Ai became his recurring protagonist. Whether she was dressed as a futuristic geisha or a fragmented porcelain doll, her ability to maintain a fierce, unyielding gaze while maneuvering massive, architectural garments was unparalleled. But it was with Alexander McQueen, where Ai reached a level of dark immortality. In the legendary Fall 2003 Scanners show, Ai walked against a wind turbine, battling the elements in a silk kimono-inspired dress. It remains one of the most iconic moments in fashion history. She wasn't just modeling, she was surviving the art. However, being a pioneer comes with a heavy price. Ai Tominaga faced the brutal reality of being one of the very few Asian faces in an era that was still predominantly white. She carried the weight of an entire continent on her shoulders. Every show she opened was a victory for representation, but the pressure was immense. In 2005, at the height of her career, Ai made a choice that shocked the industry. She stepped back to become a mother. In the cutthroat world of modeling, disappearing for even a season can be professional suicide. But Ai Tominaga isn't just any model. After years of focusing on her family and her career in Japan as a television personality and advocate, Ai staged what many consider the greatest comeback in modeling history. Returning to the international stage in her late 30s and 40s, she proved that her sharpness hadn't faded, it had only refined. Seeing her close the shows for Schiaparelli or walk for Lanvin in the 2020s was a reminder to the new generation of what a super actually looks like. It's not about followers, it's about presence, it's about the soul behind the bone structure. Ai Tominaga didn't just break the glass ceiling, she built a new skyscraper on top of it. She proved that the very things that make you feel like an outcast, your height, your sharp features, your difference, are exactly what will make you immortal. But remember, every empire has a foundation. Before Ai could conquer the runways of McQueen and Dior in the 2000s, there was another woman who had to fight a much lonelier war in the 70s. A woman who invented the very idea of the Japanese supermodel, when the West refused to look at the East. If you want to understand the full DNA of Japanese beauty and fashion, you must see the story of the absolute pioneer, Sayoko Yamaguchi. I've linked the full analysis of her legendary life right here. You won't understand the present until you see the woman who started it all. Click now to watch the Sayoko Yamaguchi documentary. Don't forget to subscribe to Ruishifa for more deep dives into the legends of the runway. I'll see you in the next analysis.